Listen up.
This just in.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
Well, Chrisette Michele, we were talking about this morning on Tell 'Em Why You Mad, and she has a new album, a new song called Strong Black Woman, and she just talked about what she's been going through during this whole time since she performed at Trump's inauguration. She says the black community dropped her like crazy. She said, if social media wanted to pull me down, I guess they succeeded as it pertains to Capitol and Caroline Records. I completed an entire album, and my label decides to walk away from me. Capitol Records, I was quiet for a few days. I go into the studio and literally poured out my heart and soul, and the label decides to walk away from me. So not only did the whole black community drop her, so did her record label.
Yeeks.
Right. She said, I went from someone being revered and loved to facing putting out an album in the worst climate of my musical career. Then she put suicidal thoughts. People ask how I'm so positive after all I've been through. When you're laying in bed naked next to a bottle of Bacardi and Xanax, when you wear pajamas morning and night, when you don't pick up the phone for weeks, months, when you're afraid to look at social media. I know I've sown positive seeds. I know I've lifted people. I know I've been a part of community activations and black empowerment. When a community sticks its middle finger up at you and completely forgets everything you've ever done, you are worthless. So she talks about having this suicidal thoughts, and she said that God was kind enough to soften the blow. I promise you, I felt him cover me like a blanket. I told him I was out of control. I told him I was having thoughts about leaving and not finishing at all. He's called me to. He listened. Therein lied my therapy. And then she said she had a miscarriage. She said that she was working out like a bodybuilder. And she said, my old habits of binge eating disorder began to show themselves, drinking maybe nothing but water for a day after a day of heavy intake. My trainer didn't know it, but he was feeding the demon that covered up hurt with food. I had a long cycle. And then she said, something came out of me. It was my child, the one my love and I worked so hard on. I never knew I could allow myself to be so broken that my physical body itself would break down. So she said she had a miscarriage. And then she said that yoga actually saved her life.
Really?
And that was the final one that she put. So.
Well, the one thing that bothers me about our community is sometimes when people do the wrong thing,
educate them.
Instead of trying to attack them, we attack all the time instead of trying to educate them. And that's what with Chrisette, we do that with Floyd. We do that with a lot of our heroes sometimes. And sometimes people make bad decisions and they make wrong decisions. And instead of attacking, we should actually try to have conversations and tell them what they're doing wrong and how it affects people. Same thing with me with the whole stop and frisk thing a year ago. And I was thinking from a different way. And then talking to people actually got me to say, wow, well, I was wrong for that situation and what I thought. And people, we don't do that enough. And I think we need to do that more.
Yeah, we knew you personally, obviously, up here. So we did have conversations with you. It made me mad, but I also know that you're not the type of person that I would say, okay, Envy's no longer part of our community, So
right, no, absolutely.
I was like, he's lost right now. Something just happened to him that he was upset about.
Yeah,
and the thing is that a lot of people don't know Chrisette Michele personally. I don't know her personally,
mm-hmm.
And so you attack not knowing what somebody
is going through.
Exactly.
Going on, so. Exactly. And I think we need to stop doing that.
All right. Some people can get excommunicated though.
Cool.
Now, Kevin Spacey. Tell me what you think about this. He has apologized because someone has come forward. They did an interview with BuzzFeed. Star Trek actor Anthony Rapp. He's had a long history on Broadway. He was one of the original actors in the play Rent.
Okay.
When he was 9 years old. And he said that when he was 14 years old, Kevin Spacey picked him up, put him on his bed, and was trying to get with him sexually.
Oh, my goodness.
Back in 1986, Kevin Spacey was 26 years old at the time. Now, Kevin Spacey tweeted, I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago, but if I did behave then as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate, drunken behavior, and I'm sorry for the feelings he describes having carried with him all these years. Apparently, the two of them were in a Broadway play together, and there was a party at Kevin Spacey's apartment. Afterward, he said he went, but he was the youngest person there. He was only 14 years old. He felt a little bored, out of place. So he went to a room and watched TV, fell asleep. When he woke up, everyone was gone. Kevin Spacey came in the room, and he said he just picked him up like a groom would carry a bride. And he was kind of shocked, like, what's going on here? And then laid down on top of him. That's when he managed to squirm out and get away. So Kevin Spacey took this opportunity also. He said, this story has encouraged me to address other things about my life. I know there are stories out there about me, and some have been fueled by the fact that I've been so protective of my privacy. As those closest to me know, in my life, I've had relationships with both men and women. I have loved and had romantic encounters with men throughout my life, and I choose now to live as a gay man. A lot of people felt upset that he would intertwine those
Yeah, I thought
two.
that was whack. I thought that was whack to first of all, I mean, it was disgusting what he did, allegedly. I'll say allegedly. But you're not going to admit to something unless you really know you did. You're not going to say, hey, I don't remember it, but if I did do it when I was drunk,
I apologize.
That means you might have done it before, and that's pretty disgusting. And then instead of just saying, oh, hey, I did this, I might have done it, and I apologize, and maybe come out later, it's just whack to combine both of them.
And you guys all know Kevin Spacey from movies like American Beauty, The
Kaiser
Usual
Sose.
Suspects. Yes, Seven. He's in House of Cards and all of that. So.
Right.
All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor report.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.